display you.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Very good. I got the birthday cake already.
Are we up again?
See,
Yeah,
I'm
we're
horrible.
I
We're
hear
back.
voices
I
and
will
they
try
speak
to-
Russian.
I will try to edit
Yeah.
that out.
I'm horrible with accents.
But let's go ahead and get started again. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. So,
It's bad.
so I hear that something has a birthday today, and I
Yes.
don't know. Apparently,
I don't know. Is there the T
The T.
and the line piece or whatever?
Yeah, you had the block piece there. Okay.
The block piece.
What's the?
The
Can
block
anybody
piece.
can anybody do the Z piece? I think it's like
It's like
I don't know that.
Zoltan.
Okay.
All right, so
Wait,
since
so officially, how old is Tetris?
Oh goodness, let me.
Is it
bring
over
up
100
Wikipedia.
years? It's got to.
It's got to be 28.
Let's see.
it's gotta be it's still
first-
youngin'.
100 years.
The very first done version was 84, so it
84?
would be 28, yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
Yay,
Was
happy
there,
birthday, Tetris.
Was there like a pre-Nintendo version of it? I mean,
Oh yeah. It
like
was
what does that? Do you know like when?
Wasn't
Tetris
it on
first
like a computer?
started?
Like
yeah, it was on Commodore 64.
that's
first,
yeah.
Published by Spectrum Holobyte, who he gave. I don't think he gave the rights to, but that was one of the things about this game was so many people claimed rights to this.
Well, this freaking Russia owned it for a while. Soviet Russia. I mean, they were.
A lot of foreign too. Hungary had it for a while, and then the Dutch eventually got it.
The Dutch.
The Dutch.
Everybody wanted a piece of the Tetris pie.
See, there's only two things I can't stand: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
They did start the slave trade. Anyway,
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
face
and
palm.
then UK also claimed rights at the same time as Hungary, and that's when, like 1989, that's when Nintendo wanted a piece of the action too.
Mm.
That when shit started hitting the fan.
Oh yes,
As they say in Deutschland. Oh wait,
Deutschland.
Holland.
that's Germany.
Yeah, that's Germany.
I'm from Holland. Isn't that weird?
What are you thinking about? The pieces are actually called. They have a name, actually.
They do. They're not called
What?
pieces.
Tetronymos?
Dude,
Tetra-
they're like
Tetronymos.
characters. They're like missing nose or what's the Pokemon from Gold and Silver? The
Unknowns.
unknowns. That's what I'm thinking of.
Tetragon.
Tetragon. Gotta
Yeah, I went
catch
through a
it.
lot of these battles.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like the battles that the cell phones are having nowadays.
Yeah,
like
pretty
lawsuits and
much.
stuff.
But Nintendo eventually won out. They, in '89, and then they released it. They kind of pay homage to it too. You have the Kremlin building in the background.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
play-
Now, didn't they give it back to the original creator at the
Yeah, they
end?
did.
Or
It was like
In
Ivan
1996.
Ivan Pavlov or something like that.
yeah, I remember reading
It's,
about that a few years back. Like it was like a big deal, and like
Alexei Pajitnov.
yeah,
Alexei Pajitnov in the Soviet Union.
they're like
And
you
then-
know.
Soviet Russia.
Did they give him 23 years of back
Yeah, retro.
royalties?
Do they retro pay them? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry,
really
we
didn't
made
get that
billions
much.
of dollars off of your creation, so I figure you deserved a little bit of it.
Yeah, here's some royalties.
Yeah.
So until '96, when he started the Tetris, it's a company of his. I think he's still alive. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's when he started getting some money.
Now we have Tetris Party.
Nice.
And now we have Tetra chords.
Right. Any piano player know that.
Oh man.
But
Good old
there's
do fa do.
there's some cool things about it too. Like there have been masters doctoral thesis written about it. One
Oh,
of the
really?
famous ones was let me find it. Well, basically he wrote about how the game will end eventually. Like there's no way, even though it's basically a never-ending game, there is an ending eventually because of the S and Z pieces and getting a certain combination of those, and that's what his thesis is all about.
Oh my god, I want a
Yes.
doctorate thesis done for Tetris.
For Tetris, yeah, heck yeah.
Right.
So
But there's
does
also-
Tetris have like a kill screen, or do you? I mean, you pretty much just always lose.
I think. Well, you always lose eventually, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's a kill screen or anything. I haven't played it in forever.
Yeah.
Oh, like where like the score like rolls over and you're like, you can't get any more points. You got all the points. You did
For
it.
all the
Yeah,
points.
Yeah.
all the
did it.
points.
Every point you won it. Good job.
Great
And
job.
the other thing that I really like is someone did some scientific experiments with it, with affecting the brain.
Oh my god, this goes so deep.
And I'm just going to read this off of the website here. According to research from Dr. Richard Heyer, prolonged Tetris activity can lead to more efficient brain activity during play.
Interesting.
When first playing Tetris, brain function activity increases, along with greater cerebral energy consumption measured by glucose metabolic rate. There we go. As Tetris players become more proficient, their brains show a reduced consumption of glucose, indicating more efficient brain activity for this task. Even moderate playing, which is a half hour 3 times a month, for 3 months, boosts general cognitive functions such as critical thinking, reasoning, language, and processing, and increases cerebral cortex thickness. You like a thick cortex.
So,
I guess, you know,
yeah,
Play
eat
some
your
Tetris.
Yeah, eat
It's
your
smarter.
Wheaties, do your crosswords, play some Tetris.
At least Tetris isn't. I don't think it's as addicting as World of
Word.
Warcraft. I could be wrong.
Oh goodness, no! I can.
It's like I had to grind out that next level, get those points.
Yeah.
Well,
Wonder
yeah,
if they're going
that's-
to have a doctorate thesis on that, how it lowers brain function. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some in the psychology field, like about
MMO
false
addiction,
sense.
I'm sure tons have been done,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
with regards to the Chinese. But
There's a false sense of achievement that you get when you. And not
oh
that it's
yeah,
not an
false sense of
but it's-
achievement. That's me every day.
Oh yeah. It's like, yeah, put my pants on.
Yes.
I did it.
Achievement unlocked.
Like,
My self-help
pants.
book, small
Yeah.
victories.
I put my
Yeah.
pants on the same way you guys do, one leg at a time, and then I make gold records.
Yeah, I'm still wondering when we're gonna get. I mean, there's Tetris on smartphones, of course. There's got to be
Yeah.
like free versions of that and stuff.
All right. Hey,
Does Tetris have any achievements?
Not that I know of.
not aware of any. Is there Tetris on like the Xboxes and the Steams and?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's like Tetris Party or Tetris.
Tetris
Party. Yeah.
And the yeah.
Party.
So how was Men in Black 3 or whatever?
Oh, Men in Black 3. Like I gotta say, I was worried, really worried going into watching. I mean, I watched.
You
the,
should be. Men in Black 2 was awful.
Yeah, I mean,
I like Men in Black too.
You do really?
I'm not the best person to ask though.
Yeah.
Asked
Yeah.
Nate about when we were looking at movies one time.
Jesse loves all the movies. Every movie he sees, he's like, "I got that on DVD," or "I gotta get this on Blu-ray." And because I remember we were at Walmart, and we're just looking at the movies and whatnot, and I'm like, "Oh, that movie's awful." And Jesse's like, "I liked it." So,
Oh, hey, it's $1. All right.
yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
And you know what? I think I'm getting better.
That's an impulse buy.
I'm getting
Yeah.
better at like the movies I watch and not being as critical. But even still,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I just look at it like, okay, it's a movie. Don't compare it to anything else. Just sit.
yeah.
enjoy
Well,
it.
that's the problem
Yeah.
with Men in Black 2. I had so much fun watching Men in Black 1 and that one.
Well, it was so complete and it was so good, and then you took Men in Black 2, which was like a giant focus group advertisement. I'm like, seriously, man, I just want to watch a fun movie about aliens.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It wasn't as fun. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just seemed kind of forced.
I felt that Men in Black 3 definitely brought back that energy and that fun atmosphere that Men in Black 1 had. Granted, like when I first heard about or saw the trailer, I think I was talking to Eric about it, and I'm like, "What's Men in Black 3 about? Is it about time travel?" And he just looks at me. And I'm like, you're joking, right?
You tell, dude, how do you ruin any series? Introduce time travel.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it really is about time travel, Nathan. And he was like,
Yeah.
what?
No.
So
Shut up.
I've watched some reviews online before I went into it, and like there were some reviewers that I really respect because they seriously reviewed a couple shows, and I went and watched. I'm like, oh my god, this is actually pretty good. So this one guy, I can't remember his name. I wish I should bring his name up so people could go watch him, but he was reviewing Men in Black 3, and he's like, no, it's actually pretty good. I was telling Eric about this. I'm like, if you get past the first 20 minutes, and Eric's like, well, you need development in your movie. That's usually what the first 20 minutes is about.
Exposition or something.
Yeah.
Is that all you guys got through for you went out back? Oh man, I feel like I watched the whole movie already. Let's go.
Oh, okay. So
Bob and Tom.
what?
No, it sounds like it was pretty fun and it was good entertainment.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
felt like that the chemistry between what's his face and who's his what's. Yeah.
And Diddly Dob and
Tommy Lee Jones.
Mr. Magoo
and Will Smith.
yeah.
Agent J and K.
Well, they have the younger guy. I don't know the younger guy's name.
The details are fuzzy,
Josh
'cause-
Brolin.
It's Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, whatever.
Yeah.
Josh Groban.
Who, oddly enough, has starred in another movie with Tommy Lee Jones. It's called No Country for Old Men.
I've actually never seen that.
I haven't seen that either.
Good
I
movie.
started watching it and it bored the hell out of me, so I stopped watching it.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I never watched it because it looked like really intense and scary, and I'm like,
It is intense. It's not scary, but
oh, okay.
it's definitely a thriller.
definitely a thrill movie.
So
It's also
anyway,
my
Men in
first
Black.
3D
But
movie.
this movie was pretty good. I think honestly it did pick up a bit, like when they finally go into time travel. And one thing you gotta look out for is her. It's not like a serious story, but of course, Men in Black really isn't. It's just like we
Yeah, of
said,
course.
it's just a fun time. And I kind of compared it to almost like kind of like a slightly better,
Fucking-
over average Doctor Who episode as far as like storytelling. Because with Doctor Who, like they don't give a crap. Like if they, I don't know. It just seems like they set up these rules and then they break them and whatnot all the time. So
I feel like
Yeah.
you could
I was
draw
just-
a parallel to anything you ever see to Doctor
yeah.
Who.
Well, the thing is Doctor Who, it's about time travel and whatnot, and so
Yeah.
they're doing stories like this all the time, and
Yeah.
it could have been much worse. This movie could have been god awful, and I'm
So,
glad that it
yeah.
I wasn't expecting much, so I'm gonna have to go check it out now.
yeah.
That's what I was talking with Nathan about. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I was like, how is it that Doctor Who sets up these situations in which, okay, so the Doctor has locked down the certain era of time where you cannot time travel to that anymore, but the enemy, Doctor Who's enemy, actually time travels to that time period. And you're
See-
just like, how does that?
Hacks.
Hacksaws.
This is where we always run into a wall with any type of creative thing. Is just if you sit and try to make sense of
Yeah.
something that's designed around just to fill a plot point to get a story across, you're gonna just drive yourself crazy. They did
Yeah.
it with Lost. They did it with every other show you've probably ever
You
watched.
kind of have to. You kind of just have to enjoy the show for what it is. If you're
Yeah.
gonna sit there and nitpick everything,
You can't analyze it. You just can't, and otherwise you won't be able to enjoy it unless that's the premise. Like sometimes people, like a lot of shows, some shows will actually drive the point home that hey, this is supposed to be realistic and supposed to be consistent, or some
Yeah.
shows probably beg for consistency at least because it doesn't make sense narratively. But I don't know. I've done it. I think we're all guilty of picking something apart because a lot of times sometimes it can take us out of the story because we can't relate to it or we can't understand what's going on.
definitely.
So
Rick-
there's definitely a right and wrong way to do it.
To use a ridiculous word, irregardless.
Irregardless. Yeah.
Irregardless. I call hacks on the Daleks for.
Okay, well that's for another time. What I want to talk about as far as Men in Black, it really is. Okay, last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll get Jesse's opinion. But I felt that it was a fun time. It was a good watch. I had a lot of fun watching it. But There's one big plot point that I felt was forced in. And after I said, we talked about how you kind of just gotta relax and enjoy the movie. I really did feel that the major plot point, which I'm not going to reveal, but I do think that any fans of Men in Black should watch this movie and then just kind of think about this writing, because you gotta think that Men in Black 1 was written as a standalone movie. Really, I don't think they wrote it like with a trilogy in mind. And then Men in Black 3, there's something that happened. And, and of course they're using the whole time travel gimmick to kind of force this plot point in. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't think I buy that, It really felt forced. But I don't know if you got that feeling from the movie, Jesse. I know I talked to you about it. But, I don't know, maybe it's just something, maybe I'm just nitpicking at this point. But what did you think about the movie?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a big Will Smith fan and an even bigger Tommy Lee Jones fan.
Yeah.
And Josh Brolin, he played a young Kay perfectly.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
If you closed your eyes, you would swear it was Tommy Lee Jones talking. It was spooky.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
I really
I
have
love
to go
how they
check
did
this out.
time travel. The whole time travel sequence was really cool.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that a lot.
when you see the time travel sequence, you're like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I expect out of a Men in Black movie. Just that kind of I don't want to say satire, but very like comedy-ish. It has a comedy element to it, definitely.
Yeah.
Do they get flushed down a toilet again?
Wasn't that Harry Potter?
I think it was.
That would have been appropriate, right?
Yeah, Harry
Well.
Potter, they got flushed down the toilet.
Yeah.
Does Will Smith
It's
dance?
a magic toilet.
Yeah.
Is there a Will Smith music video at the end of this movie?
Actually, no, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think there
Really?
No, they
That-
actually had like a different artist do the rap song for this.
I'm
Probably Usher.
angered.
And I
I'm
hear it's
angered.
because
Ah.
actually I've been watching I watched Nostalgia Chick's reviews. She's doing like a Will Smith month thing, so I definitely recommend you guys check that out. She's on thatguywiththeglasses.com. She's the Nostalgia Chick, but she talks about a couple movies that Will Smith has been in, like Men in Black 1 and 2. I think she talked about both of them. She talked about Wild Wild West, and she talks about Will Smith's rap career. And one thing that she says that you kind of notice that he just kind of fell off the music scene, and he's been focusing on movies and whatnot. And a lot of it's because you're just not. I guess you're just at that point you're not gonna make a lot of money, compared to making movies. Like a lot of his producers and agents, I guess, saying like, no, you should probably focus on movies because that's where the money is.
Well, I think
I think
that was a good
move.
decision on his
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. I think he's a decent actor, really.
Yeah,
But he's
Absolutely.
definitely like I think he had some staying power, like in the 80s and 90s.
Well, yeah. She also
But,
talked. She talked about how like he, the different approach he took to hip hop and rap. He was very like family friendly. Everything
Yeah.
was clean about his raps. Where you had,
Well,
like not everybody could pull that off. You had people like MC Hammer that tried to. And they were around for a
He
little
wasn't a
bit,
good
but
businessman.
he outlasted all of those musicians.
he's just fun to watch on
Yeah.
screen. I think he's just everyone likes to just see him in any movie, really. It's always usually a lot of fun, or
I like his monologues that he gets in, and he's like, the only like this is literally the only like comedy gag that I remember from Men in Black 2, where they have to evacuate the base and they get flushed down those tubes, and
I vaguely remember that.
yeah, and then Kay's like, "Oh, did we enjoy being flushed?" And then Kay, and then Will Smith is like, "Oh yeah, you every Tuesday, you be begging me, flush me, Jay, flush me."
Oh yeah,
But,
because that was about like how Kay, he left the
He
Men in
left the
Black, and then
service, right.
Yeah.
But no, that it's just that, and then he does, and if you look at some of his other movies, like he has some monologue stuff like that in I Am Legend, which is pretty funny. and then obviously he's by himself for most of the movie. So
Yeah, he had to carry that whole movie.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
So
All right.
So
I think on some closing thoughts, there's a lot of good one-liners Will Smith does that made me lol hard.
is that
Good.
the official term?
I made me
use
lol
lol
so
as the
hard.
past
Okay.
tense.
yeah, did you have a few that you wanted to just share?
I think my favorite one was when he says that dude yells at him and he's like, "You got to take some," or first of all, you got to take some of that bass out of your voice.
Okay, I do want to mention that when he goes back in time, he goes back to 1969, and I was kind of afraid that they were going to be like racism, and they did do a little bit of that, but it wasn't. I think they did one or two jokes, and then they moved on. So I was like, okay,
Yeah, they
good.
didn't go overboard with
Yeah,
it.
so I was really afraid that they were going to say like, "Hey, look, you're black," like,
Yeah.
okay, get over it. But the
weird.
jokes that they did use were pretty funny,
Yeah.
Cool.
So
All right.
I would,
Go see it.
yeah, I would say definitely check it out in theaters. If not Blu-ray or DVD, it's a good watch. We watched it in 3D, but honestly, my opinions on 3D is it's a nice gimmick. I don't want to spend $2 to enjoy about 10 minutes of 3D because after 10 minutes, I forget that it's in 3D. To tell you the truth.
It drove the price of movie tickets through the roof, and
Yeah.
they're loving it. Like, I swear the last movie I saw, I paid nearly $12.50, and I'm like,
Well, we
holy
went to
crap.
the cheap theater, and I think normally the tickets are $4, but we had to spend $6 because it was.
Oh,
in 3D.
well, that must be nice.
Yeah, like
And we got these cool glasses too. I still got mine.
yeah, I have.
Oh, yeah?
Boys out.
Are they the Men in Black glasses?
No, they're just
Oh,
normal
yeah.
3D.
I've
Real 3D
still got my
glasses.
Darth Maul glasses.
I threw mine out, dude. Me and Eric went and saw episode 1 in theater in 3D.
You did?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You
Big-
gave him more money?
Well,
Really?
I technically I gave Red Letter Media more money than I gave George Lucas because I spent
Oh.
$4 on the ticket. Oh no, it was $6, and then how much was? I think the commentary track was $10. Or was it
Oh,
cheap?
I think
jeez.
I think it was $4.99.
Oh, so it's about the same. Okay, it was a little bit less.
Yeah.
Okay, but listen, we went and saw the commentary, like the Red Letter Media commentary with it, and it was hilarious. It was so
Nathan-
worth it.
Nathan and I were the only people in there that were like, cracking up during the entire movie.
Yeah, like there's like this real serious scene, and we're like, real serious drama talk, and we're just in the middle of the theater laughing because we have like our headphones on and we're listening to like the Plinkett review or the
On our
Plinkett
phones.
commentary. Yeah, on our phone.
And it got to the point where the guy in front of us got up and moved.
Yeah, he totally,
Oh,
he
jeez.
totally
You're
ditched.
you guys became that guy.
He totally ditched his kids. He didn't even bother taking his kids with him. He's just like, I'm moving on.
You're ruining this old, horrible movie for the rest of us.
No, we were
Never seen it.
we're
We were pretty
enhancing our
upset.
experience.
we were pretty upset because when before the movie started, we had like all these trailers for like kids movies, and then they had a Ice Age short. I'm like, oh, so Star Wars is for kids now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's like,
I see.
so now
I see what you did there.
I enjoyed it.
you enjoyed Star Wars Episode 1?
I think
Yeah.
you're like the
I think episode 1's the least offensive of the 3 newer ones.
Like if-
honestly.
if Nathan is the fine setting on a pepper grinder, then Jesse is the coarse setting. He's just like
There's nothing wrong with coarse, though.
no.
Right? I like big, thick peppers.
He just allows everything to filter through, and he's like, yeah, I like that. And then
Oh, so
Nathan's like everything's just like down to the like little
like
tiniest.
this is what
fact.
you get. I filtered
Yeah.
out everything.
It's like I kind of like this one. Like 100 movies were released this year, and I like 3. So
Well, you know what? The reason I got that way, I mean, partially because I watched so many like internet movie critics and whatnot, but to tell you the truth, like I've been trying to watch my budget as of late, and I don't want to spend $12. Ray is really to blame because he forces me to see all these
Oh, God.
these life-changing movies that he says. He's like, dude, this movie's gonna change your life, and then you spend like $12.
like
How
does,
can every movie change
Yeah.
my life? You say this every time.
Does he worship Inception?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, he was so.
hey,
I still haven't
that
seen-
movie's great.
It's good.
No,
I
it's a
love
good
that
movie.
movie.
I'm just saying, if he's like, this movie's like, he's like, oh yeah, Predators.
Oh
that's a
yeah, he
life-changing
blows
movie.
it.
Then he
Oh.
like, then he's like, Inception. Oh my god.
No, I guarantee you, like, if you talk to Ray, dude, like, we should, like, honestly, when I get my car fixed, we should go up to GameStop every Sunday, right? And just talk to Ray about the upcoming movie.
I love talking to Ray. Is he there every Sunday? I'm gonna go up there.
I
He's
think
like-
he usually is.
He's like this. He's like this, guys. He's like,
He's got the really big
you
eyes.
need to see this movie.
What's the new movie coming out? The
He loves.
you have
He
to
just
see it.
loves movies. He loves them.
You have to see it. Oh no.
what's
you
that
have
new
to see it.
Leonardo DiCaprio movie coming out? And
I don't know. He
The
has
Great
another one.
Gatsby.
yeah, the Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
I wanna
he's
see that. I
he's
always
blowing
liked
the
the
hell out of that movie now. Excuse my language. This is the podcast, but you know what? FCC, I'm not worried about. So, what? I'm pretty sure like Ray doesn't watch our podcast, so
We should invite him to watch this one.
yeah.
Hey. Oh, I'll bring up my little thing later. It's a side note. But what was I gonna say? No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But anyway, like we should like go. I should take you up to GameStop every Sunday, and we'll talk to him about the new movie coming out, and he'll overhype
dude.
it for you. He'll overhype it, and then you'll get so excited you'll go see it, and you're like, "It was good, but I don't think it was worth $12."
And then he's gonna get you to buy the collector's edition
Oh,
of every game coming out in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, that's
Even if
something
you
I
don't-
don't do.
Even if you don't
Never.
like it, you're gonna hang it on your wall somewhere.
Oh, you're talking about what Ray does. Like, Ray was a little bit upset with Eric because Eric pre-ordered Diablo 3 Collector's Edition. I don't know if we mentioned this before on a podcast, but
He bought 2 of them.
No, yeah, I think we mentioned it on the first one, didn't we?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, just a review. Like sorry, Ray is a little upset because Eric pre-ordered the collector's edition, and then I guess what you decide like maybe you didn't want it, and then Ray wanted.
I forgot that I ordered it at GameStop,
Yeah.
so I ordered it at Best Buy.
Dude,
And then Marshall, the manager up there, he calls me. He's like, "Dude, you got this collector's edition sitting up here. What do you want me to do with it?" And then I like kind of waffled. I was like, I don't want it. And then I called them back like 20 seconds later when I saw they were going on eBay for $200.
yeah.
So I went up there and paid my $99 for it, and then it sold last week. I got like $200 for it. So
Nice.
Yeah.
but I guess Ray was hoping I would like tell him say I didn't want it because
He wanted to buy it so they
He
can
wanted
hang
to
it
buy
on
it.
his
Oh. No, you know what? He only has himself to blame. Why didn't he just pre-order it?
Well, because he doesn't have I guess he doesn't have a computer that'll run it. He just wants the collector's edition so he can hang it on his trophy shelf. That's all he does.
I never understood that, to collect all that stuff. I mean, if you're not going to sell it, or if, what are you going to do with it when you die? Like, you're going to hand
Dude,
it
like
over to your
he
kids?
sold me Grand Theft Auto 4 collector's edition, and I was like, why did I buy this?
You're going to start your own museum and have people tour it? Like, I don't understand the idea
I
of
can just imagine that talk between father and son, like son, I bought this Diablo 3 collector's edition many years ago, and now I gotta hand it off to you.
You're getting married. Allow me to. You should. I'm gonna pass you this ring. It will.
keep
This is
it
the
in the
one
family.
ring to rule them all.
hey, that's not funny. I bought the Lord of the Rings collector's edition on
Did ya?
Blu-ray. I got the ring
Oh
for pre-ordering it.
my god, dude.
Oh, we are so derailed, aren't we? I forgot
Hey,
what we were
if we're
talking
gonna
about.
if we're gonna go down
Hey,
funny
next subject.
funny avenue.
Next subject about that. E3.
Yeah, Jesse. Oh, do we want to jump right to ED3?
Well,
No.
no. Actually, you know what? We have like about 7-8 minutes, like before we need to take a quick break.
Okay,
And,
so let
so
me
let's-
do my
Okay, so
thing.
let's fit in the Orville copter.
Okay.
Is this a video or what's going on?
No, it is
Jesse, break it down for me.
Oh, the
Alright.
Orville copter. I know what
this
this
guy.
is.
His pet cat died,
Oh my god.
I'm gonna look up the video.
so he made it into a quadricopter. Like
He had it taxied.
there are blades on every limb And the expression on the cat's face is priceless.
Really?
Here you go. Here you go.
Do you have the video?
Can you guys see this?
I'll
Can you
flip
see
the
it?
video over.
Here you go.
Orville.
I can't stop laughing.
That music is priceless.
It's a beautiful video.
If I saw that flying like over my house, I would shit my pants with that.
I would totally shit my pants.
I need to post, Nathan. I need to post this on Steve's wall because he showed me this in a blog at work.
Do it. Dude, they're scaring cows.
Chase scaring cows away.
It's all I can think is
Oh
like
my god.
it's going to replace shepherd dogs and stuff.
There you have it, the Orville copter.
Yes.
Thick and wrong.
Dude, I don't know how to feel about that. That's like...
Tell us how you feel, man.
It's
I feel like I'm gonna go to hell for watching that and laughing. But you know what? I couldn't help it because that music... I mean,
yeah.
that music
Who
made
thinks
the
of
video.
this? Who thinks to turn their dead cat into a helicopter?
Oh, he named it after one of
Terrorizing
the Wright
neighbor
brothers.
kids. Could you imagine Halloween, the kind of reactions you'd get flying a dead cat around?
Oh. I wonder if...
Is it considered dead after taxidermy?
yeah, I wonder if Chuck Testa
guess
had
so.
anything to do with that.
Yeah. That's what the funny thing is. Like some people got a lot, like really mad about it. I'm like, how is this any different than stuffing like a lot of animal activists stuff their animals after
Yeah.
they're dead and put them in their house? Like that's kind of creepy. Like how are you gonna defend? Like how are you gonna say it's not? You can't make a helicopter out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just... It's a helicopter.
It might have
It's like you're
some
turning it into a
practical
toy instead of
application.
instead of paying tribute. It's like you wouldn't turn a dead relative into a helicopter, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
depends.
might.
I
I'm
just
thinking about
might.
it.
I don't know. You wait next year. YouTube. It's gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
This is the internet. Everything happens.
Oh
it's
yeah.
gonna be cats, dogs, frogs, raccoons.
This is gonna be like
tanks.
the new like viral meme. Like people are gonna start turning dead things into helicopters.
Bear holding a shark.
The shark copter. It's called the Orville copter. Yeah. Like Orville Redenbacher.
Oh.
No,
It's
like
gonna be the next
Orville Wright.
commercial.
He named
No,
it
I know
after
it's
one of the
Orville Wright.
Wright
I'm
brothers.
just. I just
Purple red dogger.
I just thought that was a funnier connection to make. Like,
So much fail.
I just love the expression
Yeah.
on the cat's face.
Dude.
It's just all wide eyes.
Yeah. it was.
it's awesome.
He needs to
It's
put
like- It's like this.
he's got to put aviation goggles on it or something.
Yeah. It's coming. He's coming for you. That's gonna be the next line of toys they put at Toys R Us. Just like Orville copters.
Orville copter.
You
I think
have
somebody
like
needs some website like ThinkGeek or like thisiswhyimbroke.com needs to put that on there.
Yeah.
Custom
So,
Orville copter.
I would fly one around.
Yeah.
they have like different models. They have the authentic like dead like taxidermed animals, and then you have like your fake plushy animals.
You know what I want? I want a polar bear go-kart.
Oh yeah.
I just want to battle polar bear. Like I'm gonna ride a polar bear into battle,
Golden
you go.
Compass style.
There you go.
and I'm gonna wear walrus
You
armor,
would not want to mess with that guy coming at you on a polar bear. If
wearing a walrus
Yeah.
armor.
So you
Dude.
have no respect for animals.
With Orville copter air support.
Are we at break? I think that's
You know what? We're
pretty
close
good.
enough. So I'm gonna flip it over to YouTube. If you guys want to load up some videos, we'll take probably a
Yeah,
5-minute
yeah.
break.
Play some YouTube. I gotta get a drink. All right.
All right. You guys have
I
a
got-
video?
I call dibs.
Okay. Go ahead and load some stuff up. This is Tea Time After Dark. We're taking a quick break. We'll be back within 5 to 7 minutes. Just enjoy these videos that our friend Eric is loading up for you. He'll take real good care of you.
Taxidermy machines. There's got to be other examples. Freaking squirrel roller skates. Did I lose you guys?
Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, okay. Nice. This is perfect. It's a good lead-in.
Is this the one with Ellen Page?
No, actually, but a lot of people think she was the voice for the girl in this video.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Because I thought it was her in the picture. But yeah, that was the earlier game.
But we're not in the clear, right?
No, she is the voice.
We're in this city.
I don't see anything.
Come on.
Yeah, that is Ellen Page, Jesse.
Hey, there's
Oh,
one.
okay. Well, she's in a different game too, ain't she?
They're everywhere.
I don't remember.
I just remember watching this whole conference and she was on a game earlier.
She's in Beyond.
She had like her shaved head.
Yeah, it's Beyond. The game Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beyond Two Souls or
the one
whatever.
with the Quantic Dream game, the Heavy Rain guys. Which I'm really excited for, by the way.
I just can't believe the character movements in this game.
Oh yeah, they took Uncharted and they just went running with it this time.
You ever stay at a place like this? Right before that all went to shit, I mean.
No, this is too rich for my blood.
Bet it was nice.
There's that dude looking down at the floor. It's probably a different dude though.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of the few big hits of the show. I mean, I didn't feel like there was a ton of great games, but there's definitely some. This is definitely one of the big highlights.
Yep, this was my big one. This is my #1 game of the show.
Oh yeah, easily, hands down. Although, you know, props to Watch Dogs and Beyond, I think.
Watch Dogs is #2, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of buzz for that one. We'll probably get into that in our discussion.
How many is that now?
Just this week. Hey, I'm not complaining.
I bet you're not. We done here?
Got on the floor to check, man.
Check for what? I ain't seen the in a week. Call this way. Oh, damn it.
This part was the awesomest part.
Look what what the fuck? Tourist! He's got a fucking gun! Get ready!
It's kind of cool, the whole like survival angle they're taking with it. A lot more at stake, you know.
Yeah, very minimalist HUD as well. That's what I noticed the most of at E3 this year, was just the either HUDless or minimal HUD games, heads-up display just being taken out of the game.
Which I love. It's just great.
Yeah, totally cinematic in nature. You ever get beat by a hobo?
Not this year, but a little while ago.
You fucking drop him! Shit. Come here. I know
This
that's
game looks so intense, man.
got you now, motherfucker.
Man,
Owie.
good job with all the,
See, now one of the things someone pointed out for E3 this year was just how many really adult, really graphically violent games there were.
yeah, here.
Yeah, this God of War and Watch Dogs look pretty.
Really brutal, but I think the thing that people touched on with Last of Us is that how it's really focused on really true survival, has real context for the violence, real stakes, as opposed to just, brown shooter, this, that, bang, bang, gratuitous. It's not gratuitous violence, it's just, it almost seems necessary given the context.
Situationally appropriate.
Yeah, that's what some people were touching on with this particular game. Even though it looks like to be the most brutal of them all.
Yep, this part is disgusting.
Here it comes.
Freaking nuts, man.
Ew.
Yeah, they said a lot about wanting to tackle darker themes and stuff. Make sure my mic was on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really cool. Oh, look at that. The related videos kind of pops up all the other big games right on top of that.
Yep. What? Yeah, we can get into more of those when we start back up again. But
Yeah, we don't really need to focus so much on the videos. I'm sure everyone's going to go watch them or has
oh
watched
yeah,
them.
we can just talk about the other games.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I do have a top 5.
There you
for
go.
the
Ooh, I think I have a top. I have a top five. Yeah, I'll give my top 5 too. Why not? I'm sure ours lists are probably going to be pretty similar.
Yeah. I think you're gonna think I'm a fanboy at one point, but that's okay.
You
Yeah,
are-
we're gonna
you are
have
a
we have a
fanboy.
couple. I have a fanboy type game that I'm really excited for that I'm sure other people aren't. But
We're all fanboys at heart, I think. Just
Mhm.
afraid to admit it.
Nathan, on a quick aside, did you see the Final Fantasy 14 2.0 pictures
Do they
that
have
they
new
released
ones?
today? They got new ones out.
Okay, I
Yeah,
haven't seen them.
I mean, game. Who knows whether the game was still gonna suck when they completely overhaul it?
But the pictures
probably-
look really good.
I think it's gonna still suck in some areas, but gosh darn, does that game look freaking amazingly good! And the world and the art direction's just fantastic.
the games
you
always
can't.
look
You got to
good.
give them that. Huh?
I think games always look pretty good.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's their specialty, but then everything else kind of falls apart. But I don't know. I've been reading some stuff like the developer does, like these little letters to the community, and he goes into like ridiculous detail as to what they're doing and what kind of feedback they're taking seriously. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it might have some redeeming qualities. I don't know. I mean, they're definitely doing some things I've never seen before, like like legacy subscribers are getting a permanent discount on the monthly fee. Like that's unheard of. Like, it's pretty amazing.
Yep.
What you eating there?
Granola bar.
Granola.
Granola.
All
Did
right.
you bring some for everybody, or
Let me just upload it to Ustream.
Can you email me that granola bar, please?
I'll just download one off of torrents.
All right, are we ready to begin the next segment?
Yeah, because
let's do it up.
We're gonna need
Justifiable is ready.
we're gonna need all of the remaining time to.
Yeah, we're gonna try to fit all this in an hour. All right. Whoever wants to start.
All right.
I'm gonna man the camera. You guys go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, sure. And so welcome back to Tea Time After Dark. We're just gonna start right off here. We're probably gonna use most of the remaining time talking about what's on everybody's mind. If you're a gamer at all or into technology at all, that's the Electronics Entertainment Expo, better known as E3.
The moment y'all been waiting for.
That's right. Or not.
Or not. Yeah.
I've been waiting for it.
But
I waited.
Definitely the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm not going to say that this was the best E3 I've ever followed. Obviously, it's a little more exciting when there's some kind of console like brewing with all the, big three game companies, that being Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. But they did have some good showings here and there. I think Sony probably had the most blockbuster games in their particular press conference. Microsoft did have one that I'm excited about, and Nintendo is Nintendo of not old Nintendo. They're
Not the trading
still-
card company. No.
They're,
Right.
they're still the Nintendo of Wii fame, which does not
Right.
appeal very much to me.
Well, let's do this. Let's break down each conference in order real quick and go over the highs and lows, and then we can just start talking about our favorite games, that's what really people want to hear about. Like, we could sit and drone on about what was crappy all day, but I think we don't want to spend too much time on negativity unless it was,
No.
you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so let's start with Microsoft now. Did all three of us catch any of the tidbits with that?
I looked at the Microsoft conference.
I watched the highlights, like, cause I was tuning in and out of it when it was actually airing, and I mean, to tell you the truth, every time I come in, I'm like, well, what is this? I'm not really impressed. So I'm like, I'll just catch it on YouTube. So that's what I ended up doing.
Right.
I
So
watched Halo 4.
plus Halo 4, right? You guys agree,
Halo
disagree? You think
4
that was the good showing?
It
I
was
think it looked
yeah.
cool.
I'll talk
Do you
about
want
it.
to talk about Halo 4 right now, or do you?
Let's
Let's
talk
go ahead.
about-
Let's talk about Microsoft in general, and then we'll get to Halo 4.
Yeah, let's talk about the games when we get to
Okay.
our 5 list.
So they had Halo 4, and then if we want to talk about Microsoft exclusive games they showed, we could go on to Gears of War, which they really didn't show much of. They just had that little teaser. And then what else was there? You guys remember?
One thing that's actually hardware related was the Microsoft Glass.
Smart Glass?
Oh, yeah.
Smart Glass.
I watched that.
Now that's going to be pretty cool. And
I think so.
I think it's going to be a bigger success than PlayStation's multi-screen technology, where they tried to, be like, oh, you can play, multiplayer games on 2 screens. Well, it kind of takes it one step further and lets you control your whole Microsoft Xbox Live experience from your smartphone. Whether or not we're going to see this on Android and iOS is yet to be seen, but it's definitely going to be integrated into their Windows 7 and Windows 8 phone devices. So, pretty
Right.
sweet.
And I mean, we've already seen a lot of this kind of integration from Android and iOS devices with, like, Apple's AirPlay is like similar functionality between their devices and their ecosystem. How you can control like your music on your Mac computer, or you can control the Apple TV from your iPad and stuff like that. So very similar stuff going on there. And I think they're just saying, that this kind of functionality should become kind of standard and ubiquitous across all platforms. And
Yep.
I really like how they didn't like try to lock it down to like any specific devices. Like, we're just going to release an app for everything, and they should all be able to cross play with each other.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
I think that's a great idea.
And then they had a new Forza game. Okay.
I thought that looked all right. I mean, I don't play a lot of racing games, but I thought it looked all pretty good.
I used to play
Forza-
Forza a lot. I used to play Gran
Yeah.
Turismo a lot, but I mean, the problem is with those games, it's just you play it for a good like couple weeks and then you're done. Maybe if you can get a couple weeks out of it. At least that was the problem I was having.
There was only one game I played on Xbox that was a racing game that kind of defied that, and that was Burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got a little bit of a Burnout arcadey vibe from this Forza game, so I'm thinking it might be.
They might be trying to add something to it to make it a little bit more.
It might, yeah. They're like me looking, trying to get away. Like they're definitely getting further away from a simulation aspect with this particular title, I think.
On a side note, Rob, do you have an Xbox right now?
Yes.
Okay, check out. They kind of folded Burnout into the Need for Speed franchise.
Yeah,
Check
the new
out,
Need for Speed. I heard that looked really good.
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I've got it. It's pretty cool. You can play either the police or the street racers.
That's nothing new. Like that was Need for Speed.
This
3
isn't the first Hot Pursuit game.
Yeah,
but
there was a
No.
Hot
I'm
Pursuit
hearing,
way before
I'm hearing a
this.
lot of good things about this particular new title.
It's pretty.
So-
It's pretty fun. It came out I think last month or 2 months ago, but it's pretty fun.
I used to be like really into racing games, but I don't know. I just fell off the bandwagon after. at some
Yeah,
point in
I
time.
prefer like fake racing games like Mario Kart.
Those
Oh.
are fun, but I really like playing racing games in the arcade. I think
Yeah.
that's where I have the
Yeah.
most fun.
I miss Burnout because they had all those crazy mini games, where the whole game was the objective of the game was like to crash, like the crash mode, like you just
Yeah.
try to cause the biggest
Those are
amount of
fun.
chaos possible, or like the revenge mode where like there was no race, you just had to like try to crash your opponent's cars.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole point. Like that's how you scored points, by like driving them into rails and stuff like that. I thought that was brilliant and genius, and I want to see Burnout come back, darn it.
Yeah. Jesse, did you have anything particularly from the Microsoft conference that you liked?
I only watched a couple things. I watched the Halo, which I didn't play Halo 3 at all, but I'm looking forward to Halo 4 and trying that out. But the other thing, I think it was the glass thing that
Yeah.
seemed cool, but I could see some problems coming up with it.
Mhm.
Pretty much the only one really I can think of offhand is the one he mentions, where you're watching a film and on your little glass thing, it has
You're
like
pulling up like little factoids or like yeah.
Like
I like-
pop-up
I think-
video, man.
I feel like that was a little out of touch. Like most people watching movies try to focus on the movie. I don't know a lot of
Exactly,
people that
yeah.
are like
That's why I have a
staring
hard
at their
time trying to
screen.
watch, trying to read subtitles while I'm watching a
Yeah.
movie. Like I don't need facts about the movie.
or like in the same thing. I think you could apply the same thing to their demonstrations of video games. Like who's going to be looking at stats while they're in the middle? Like maybe when they're like on the break from the game or like they're waiting for like the game to start, maybe they'll glance over at their screen and look at their stats from the last match or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure like where it fits, but I mean, the obvious connectivity, like the using it as the controller or being able to play certain touchscreen games that are, and have them displayed on the screen, or I don't know, or,
They'll probably
controlling
integrate it.
controlling the browser with a touchscreen. I think was probably the most,
But you're controlling Internet Explorer.
Hey, Internet Explorer 9, I hear, is one of the best browsers around, at least the most secure.
Mm.
The Internet Explorer 9 now has the top spot for the most
Hey.
secure browser.
I gotta say, I'm starting to use Google Chrome a little bit more now.
Chrome's
Yeah.
brilliant. I love Chrome.
I
It's just
think-
fast, lightweight.
Firefox just updated, and I'm noticing that it's a lot smoother than it used to be. So I'm kind of like flipping back and forth. I like Firefox because like all my my ad blocker plus works with every website, where Chrome it doesn't work so well.
Really? I've never had an issue with my ad blocker, but I don't know.
it
Maybe
doesn't
I
work
just
with
didn't-
Ustream, I know
Maybe I
that.
just didn't set it up right. Yeah, I just can't. I can never get to work with Ustream, but Firefox will work. So I go figure.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
That was everybody's Microsoft impressions, I assume. Yeah.
And then
Right.
after that
Was Sony.
Well, did we talk about our Halo 4 impression, or do you want to talk about that later?
Let's do that. Let's do individual games after we do
Okay.
the overview
Alright.
here. So Sony, I did watch the entire Sony
I did
press
too.
conference live.
So did I.
Yep.
Now, let's see. They started out with I can't remember what they
The
started with.
Beyond trailer
Beyond,
was
yeah.
what
Yeah,
they
Beyond
opened with.
trailer. Yep, that was stunning. I was
Yeah.
pretty impressed with that.
Yes.
And then for some unknown reason, they were like, "Hey, let's do this magic book thing."
Oh, okay.
So they started off pretty okay. Like, you know, it kind of felt a little like last year. You know, they kind of like they showed a big game and then they went about their usual. You know, I think they touched on Vita like right after that, briefly, very briefly. Like they announced 2 games, and then they showed a couple more games. I don't know if they had a sizzle reel trailer or not. I don't think they did. I don't think they had a single one. Or, you know, those little trailers that show like 5 or 10 different games that are upcoming.
yeah.
Yep.
I know.
They didn't have any. They didn't have any of that. They touched on Assassin's Creed 3, which they had that naval battle scene. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
very
that's
sweet.
that didn't.
That was-
That came
that's
up,
gonna
and I
be-
was like, "Is that an Age of Empires game?"
Yeah,
I know it was.
When I first
It was
saw it.
crazy. It's kind of cool.
didn't make my top 5, but it's definitely in my top 10 must-haves for
Right.
the next 12 months here. So,
And then Wonder Book happened.
and then Wonder Book happened,
Oh my God!
That
like
was
way to
pretty
take
long segment. too,
And-
you know.
really
as Nathan
long.
pointed out, it happened, and it just kept happening. And then J.K. Rowling showed up. in
Oh,
the
she didn't even
picture.
show up. They just put a quote on it.
Yeah.
No, but her intellectual property was included, and then so J.K. Rowling was there in spirit, and they just kept going and going, and I'm like, when is this going to end?
So you know, what the problem I'm seeing with this, and maybe I could be wrong, because I know e-readers are becoming so extremely popular. I have like a really old Nook, but I'm reading Game of Thrones on it. But the problem I see with this is a Sony PlayStation 3, and you don't have a PlayStation 3 to read books. Or I mean, I know that there's more to it. It's interactive, but when you strip away all the fancy bells and whistles, that's what you're doing. You're reading. And I'm not against reading. I just think that it's probably the wrong platform for it. That's just my opinion.
Well, and here's the thing they're doing something really strange here. Like it's like an augmented reality, interactive like storybook experience.
Yeah.
I think it's really meant for kids, but I don't know. First of all, they spent 20 minutes showcasing.
Oh, yeah,
this.
that's
like,
way
like it
too
was
long.
their killer app of the show, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And then, well, clearly they thought it was amazing, but if they had their ear to the ground, they know that, like, you know, right now on tablets and especially iOS, interactive storybooks are already like, the market's already there. It's already
Yeah.
been
With
going
iPad
on
and
for
whatnot?
years.
With iPad
Yeah.
and even
People
the
are
Kindle
people are
Fire.
already making thousands. There's already thousands of interactive, like really like media rich ebooks.
Honestly, I
And
think
it's
that
just,
would
it's
probably
already there. It's already being done. It's already being done better than this.
Yeah, definitely. I
This
think it
is
would
like
be
a half-
better suited
yeah.
for Wii U. You know,
You know,
but I don't know
and
about
you're-
PS3. I think you're me and you are kind of on the same page with that. It just
Yeah,
seems like the
exactly.
wrong platform for it.
Well, and then check out this red flag: the fact that they only showed one book that had the support. Like they didn't even have a sizzle reel for this. Like they didn't have a video showing. Check out all these cool books that your kids gonna be able to play with. It's like no, it's just Harry Potter. They're riding on the coattails of this franchise that's basically kind of on its way out because it's completed, it's done. People have pretty much done it to death.
Yeah.
All the games have been
You-
made.
You're gonna
I've-
try to
I've played through
push
all the
Harry
games on
Potter
the PC.
again.
I
You're gonna
had
try to push, yeah.
I should get some kind of achievement for that. I played through every Harry Potter for the PC.
I mean, I'm not even sure how much. I'm not even sure how much attention Pottermore is getting, and that was
Yeah,
J.K. Rowling's
I was
big.
gonna look into that, and then I totally forgot about it because I was like,
So you're
alright.
riding on the coattails of a failed experiment with another failed experiment, and it's just doomed from the start. You
Yeah.
know, you already have a better experience and a better selection right off the bat with like an iPad.
Yeah.
You know, I
So
don't know.
then after
It's a
20
blunder.
minutes of face palming, they
Mhm.
kind of redeemed themselves with God of War Ascension. I don't know if you guys saw that.
If you love God of War, you're getting more. That's
See,
all I gotta say.
I've never played a God of War, but I was watching it and I was like, this looks really intense. But, you know, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I should
And
just
I
jump
would
right
say it's
on it.
akin
without
to like
playing it.
Dynasty Warriors, just the different
Mm-hmm.
settings.
Yeah, Rob and I were talking during the break. It is the first game that in the God of War series that completely gets rid of like your health bar, your magic bar, all that stuff's gone. It's a completely
Right.
cinematic, seamless experience. Again, Rob and I talked about the games in this conference. Just seemed to me like the games that were geared towards the hardcore gamers were they just stepped up all the violence and brutality in all these games. And God of War has always been kind of brutal, but
Yeah.
they even took it like one step higher
Yeah, I noticed
in
that.
this. And like these finishing moves that I was seeing in the demo were just ridiculous.
With
Like,
that elephant.
with
Yeah.
the elephant thing, yeah. If you guys get a chance to check out the video, if you haven't
Elephant
already,
Man.
the Elephant Man scene at the end of the trailer is just
Right.
ridiculous.
You know.
So I have a question. Like, I mean, since we're on God of War, we might as well get to this question. But what do you guys think about this whole new trend of? Well, it's not new. It's not new. It's just all of a sudden, like, everybody's focused on like the seamless transition from cutscene to gameplay.
Love it.
Well, it depends because, like, I've been getting kind of miffed at less gameplay and more cutscene. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind a seamless. Like, I love the way things are cinematic, and I love how they do it so smoothly, and it's all done in game, and it just looks great. But I also don't like a game where it's like
Well, you're
I'm
watching
playing-
most of
or
it,
if,
you're
like
watching the
yeah,
movie.
where I'm not. There's like even less to do, and I'm running down a straight hallway. We saw this with one of the first games I saw do this was Kingdom Hearts 2. It really miffed
yeah.
me that there was a lot less gameplay compared to the first
That
game.
was.
and we-
I think me and you have talked about this before. It's just like
Yeah,
the game.
this was one of the first
idea,
games that did it.
The idea of the game is great. I love the idea of the story of the characters, but the problem, the way they presented it, was like, hey, watch this cutscene, then run down
There's
the
a
hallway.
cutscene like every 5 minutes. Like I was like, okay, I get to play again, and then it breaks.
Yeah.
and
Well,
I'm like
and even that,
bobbing
like,
my head.
the level design wasn't
no.
even as good as the levels in the first one. I
Yeah.
thought
now,
it was
now
either.
God of War traditionally has never had this problem, really.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
they have.
nice big levels that you get to fight a big
Right.
boss. Then they do a cutscene, but like
Yep.
or like the cinematic real time events where you're still kind of controlling what's going on. So
Mhm.
I'm not trying to. Yeah.
Not to be racist, I guess, but we can blame the Japanese for that sort of thing. I mean, the big two franchises that come to mind when I think of cinematic gameplay are Final Fantasy and also Metal Gear Solid. Hideo Kojima. Just
Yeah.
I mean,
And both those games have fallen victim to this idea that less gameplay, more cutscene. Like that was one of the big things with Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yep.
yep.
You know?
Wasn't there
Yeah.
like a ridiculously long cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4? Everybody was like raving, like, "Oh, you're not gonna believe it." There's like this.
There were
cutscene that-
several.
Well, yeah, but like it was totaling like close to an hour, if not like I don't think it
Oh,
was
the-
over an
It's
hour.
like at that point, why
last
did you
one
make
was
it? Why did
long.
you make a game? Like if you wanted to make a movie, you should
Yeah.
have made a movie. You know,
I'd
it's
watch
like
a
that. That would
movie.
have been my question to the designers. Like, you know, so
You'll notice Kojima is no longer in charge of that game, so he
Right.
kind of announced he was leaving, but I think Konami probably had something to say
right.
to that.
And,
But anyway,
yeah, let's move on.
back
Oh, Last
to
of Us.
E3.
Last of Us. We have to talk about that.
Yes.
This is, I mean, this was the highlight of the Sony conference to me. This game, it's a Naughty Dog game, okay?
And they've done it again. It's
They've
magic.
done it again. They not getting too much into it. We can talk about it when we get to our lists, but it was the high point. I think it got the most applause at the Sony conference out of
Oh
any
yeah,
of the games.
or of any conference really.
Yep. And I think it's going to be a great game. It is coming out Q1 of 2013, so
Like everything else, that's another point we're going to
Yeah.
touch on.
Yeah.
maybe if we got time for it.
That was the last thing that Sony showed, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
No?
that was the
Oh, was it?
closer.
Oh.
Was
wasn't
there
it?
like
Yeah.
when was Star Wars? The Star Wars.
13, the 31, or Star
That
Wars.
was
13,
EA, wasn't
yeah.
it?
That was EA.
Okay, did
Yeah,
we talk
yeah.
about EA? Was
No.
it EA before Sony?
Oh yeah, well, we could.
I don't. To tell you the truth, I didn't even really watch EA.
I
I
didn't
didn't watch
watch
EA
it.
either. I just read about it after.
I watched the 1313 video. That was it.
Well, so I guess we could wait and add 1313 to the games at the end. I don't know, or we could talk
Yeah.
about it now since
I don't
think
know.
we all
I
watched it.
didn't see enough of it to be thoroughly impressed by it, but it looked kind of cool.
it looks like a third-person shooter. you
Yeah,
know,
Mass Effect.
yeah.
And Nintendo.
Yeah, let's move to Nintendo then.
Wii U. Whoop-de-doo.
Really,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
seems to be so underwhelmed by Wii U.
It's it's the Dreamcast of its generation.
Yeah.
It's more powerful than anything that's out now, but it's gonna be overwhelmed when the other companies make their next system.
And that's that's not even the thing that's really bothered me about it. I think the I think the way they feel they're pushing innovation is kind of misplaced. Like I think the whole tablet thing, like that's, I don't know, like we're gonna use tablets in a way different from everyone else. I'm like, are you sure? Like I don't know if that's really true.
You gotta remember too, like their target audience. Sony has pretty much us. But for children, Nintendo's got the hook, line, and sinker on that.
What do you guys think about that, though? Nintendo was supposed to release all this information about like how they're appealing more to a hardcore audience. What do you guys think about that?
And I think they
That was just, I don't know, blowing hot air. Maybe they thought what they had was good enough to convey that point,
Indeed.
which is they always don't seem to be connected. Like they don't seem to, be understanding of
Yeah.
what that actually means.
What a hardcore audience is, just because they release Arkham
they
City.
define it. They define it by whatever their partners and advertisers say, or their focus groups. They don't understand. They don't listen to the community as far as what the community wants. They never do. They're out of touch.
Yeah,
is
I
what
mean,
they say.
I agree. Like, it's so funny because like they have Reggie out there like representing Nintendo, and I think he represents Nintendo like quite well because like I don't know what it is about him, but every time I see him, like it's just like he just seems like he doesn't really truly understand what he's talking about for the most part, or I don't know what it is about him. He just seems so disconnected from the gamers.
Yeah. Oh, he has to be. That's his job. His job is the business end of things.
Yeah.
He's just there to.
When he comes out, he's totally businessman.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well, what do you
like.
How do you
I-
don't know us?
I hear he's a little more candid in interviews, but not really. Like he's like a pro at what he does. Like he's just there to only say what he's being told to say, and he'll dance around everything else forever.
Welcome to the podcast, Troy.
Yeah, Troy Bardoni is joining us. How's it going, buddy?
We're talking about Nintendo's conference as far as E3 that premiered yesterday.
I wasn't able to watch the Nintendo one. I watched all of Sony.
Okay.
Big disappointment that was.
Okay, well, we're just going to go through what we're doing is we're just going through the different conferences, and then at the end we're going to talk about our top favorite games.
I'm ready for my top 5. I don't know about you guys.
You guys want to do top 5?
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
do we
Go
have?
ahead.
Was there anything worthwhile talking about today that happened today?
I
Oh,
don't
like
know.
today?
Yeah. Anybody watch it today?
Watch what? Which one? Are you talking about the 3DS one?
Yeah. Like there was like I think there was
gonna
Kingdom
look
Hearts 3 was it 3DS Dream Drop?
No one was
Whatever.
live streaming it, so I kept checking the sites and I haven't seen anything yet. So,
Well,
you
I'll
said
go ahead and
Kingdom
talk about.
Hearts?
Well, I'll go ahead and talk about Square Enix because
Okay.
and actually, I'm not even sure if they did anything today, but I'm pretty sure they did.
They had that big tech demo video. That was the only one that I saw that got
so
attention.
they must have did something today. They have 2 new mobile games coming out, and they're both well, one's kind of like an RPG. I think it's like Dragon Rider. I can't remember exactly what it is. It kind of looks very underwhelming, at least from what I've seen. And then the other one is actually a music game. You tap, yeah, you'll tap the touch screen to like the beat of a music.
Oh, the one on
Music.
Vita? Or
No, I think it's the cell. They're both cell phone.
oh, they're
Yeah.
both Android. Okay.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it. It just seems really weird. It was all in Japanese, so I think it was
Go figure.
Nobody can read that. So.
yeah. Also, they are releasing the Final Fantasy cell phone games on iOS. It's called Final Fantasy Dimensions, and basically they're games that have already been released on cell phones, but now they're porting them to iOS and Android.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah, they're really going hard into the mobile
I've
scene
noticed that.
right now.
and I don't know.
That's probably a good idea for them, really.
Probably.
It'll probably work pretty well in Japan, but I don't know. As far as like me, when I'm playing games on my phone, I want something as simple as Angry Birds or.
Well, they've already been on iOS for the past 2 years, so they're not. It's not even like they're just dabbling
Yeah.
their feet in the water. They're already in the pool. Like they didn't they
doing
put
the
Chrono Trigger?
breaststroke.
Didn't they put Chrono Trigger on iPhone? And they
Yeah.
got Final Fantasy 1 and 2.
Yeah, they
They
did.
have, and then they got some other weird games like a tower defense game they made, and a few other odds and ends.
I think
So-
they have a tactics-like game, too.
They got Final Fantasy Tactics on iOS. They got this original game, Chaos Rings 1, even a sequel to that. So it's like, yeah, they're really going hard for the mobile games. And I'm wondering if that's kind of like a future-oriented thing, because, I mean, that's kind of where...
They have a
Some-
marketplace, actually, a Square Enix marketplace that's not. I don't think it's in America right now. No, it's. I want to say it's for iOS, like
Mhm.
their own marketplace or something. They've been talking about releasing it on Android for a while.
Yeah, they're
I'm gonna
pushing
pick those
iOS
from
really
too.
hard right now, but they're starting to move to Android.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger was a big release on iOS.
Hmm.
For them when they re-released that, it has all the DS features, the added dungeons and the added endings and things like that. I've been waiting for it to come out. I would not mind playing Chrono Trigger on my Android phone. That would be amazing.
Hmm.
That's something simple. Just sitting on the bus,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing to do.
awesome.
I need to get a smartphone.
So
Still don't have one.
I know a couple
Uh,
guys who could get you a smartphone.
All right. So
For
that
free,
aside,
or-
let's go ahead and talk about the tech demo for Square Enix. They
Oh,
released.
that was amazing. I seen that today.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Has everybody seen it?
No, I have not.
No.
Durka meets Final Fantasy. I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Okay.
Yeah, those
So I'll go ahead and give you a rundown. It's a new engine. I don't know the name of it. I don't know if they have a name.
Luminous, I think it
Luminous,
was.
the Luminous engine. And what it does is the tech demo that it showed was all the footage was all rendered in real time. So it's a real time
Mm-hmm.
rendering of the action. Very, very pretty. It was
Yeah.
amazing, mind blowing.
Yeah.
It was. If that was real time, that's fucking amazing.
And-
Well,
It
yeah,
was
see,
great.
yeah, because no one would have been surprised if it was just another cutscene, because their cutscenes all look like this, but this
It was-
is supposed to be indicative of what the gameplay would look like.
It was very realistic too. Like as far
Mhm.
as like the character design, I mean, it's still kind of anime-ish to a point, but it looked like it was set in the Middle East somewhere. They had like these terrorist-looking dudes chasing what
In the, yeah.
like wizards or magi or whatever you want to call them. So it was a neat, realistic take on a Final Fantasy franchise, or a Final Fantasy concept. Like they were guarding a crystal. The main character, who was a girl, like she actually used a summon, and they had like these Final Fantasy. I forget the names of the dogs, but end up
Mhm.
chasing her.
But,
So-
yeah, it did have a realistic spin on it. Like when they injected that, it looked like a normal wolf, and
Yeah.
they turned it into a monster.
And she actually
I thought
grabbed.
that-
I like how she grabbed like a tonic or something and then used her magic powers to turn it into a potion. She poured it on her wound and drank it, and she was healing. So it was
Yeah,
pretty
it was-
cool.
It was very interesting, and I think that I'm hoping that.
It's a direction I think Square Enix needs to go.
Well, okay, now
not entirely, but they need to do something different.
Okay, what they need to do different is focus on their game instead of the graphics.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my main
big
complaint was
time.
like, yeah, it was beautiful, but you know, it was also ran on a high-end computer that these like our consoles right now won't even be able to use this engine because it just doesn't
Well, it
have the
was
power.
rumored PS4, like
Well, maybe at the I don't know the specs that you know, we don't even know anything about the PS4 really right now.
Kinda.
there's some specs on.
You're gonna
like, the
go off
data
that rumor,
power.
that spec sheet rumor.
Yeah, that's what I was reading today. Actually, the spec sheet rumor. It's
And you know what?
Right.
If it's a rumor, I'm not until something's set in stone. I'm gonna say that this engine, you can't run this engine yet. You know, I don't really go by rumor sheets. That's just my thing. You know, it's just.
I highly doubt this is intended for current gen. This is probably
Yeah.
PC and next gen.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But my big problem is like, yeah, we know you can make pretty graphics. Why don't you give us like a decent damn story and decent gameplay? And I'm not. The problem is I'm trying not to get too upset over Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. I haven't played Final Fantasy 13-2 yet. But I haven't heard that many good things about it.
I think like a lot of people this is what the interesting thing about 13.2 is, like a lot of, if it's defenders praise the gameplay, but you know, obviously the story is not, just like in 13, the story is not really the driving force of the
Yeah.
game, even though that's what they're trying to go for.
I just don't understand. Like, you know, I just want to play a game that's fun, that has. It doesn't have to be a great story. You know, Diablo 3 didn't have a great story, but it's fun as hell to play. You know?
Oh yeah, the story is not the focus; it's just there. You know.
So it basically what it is it's not impossible to make a game that doesn't have a really hardcore driving story, you know, but you can still have something that I'll play for hours and hours on end. And Square
Right.
Enix seems to have lost connection with that. Like, that's the thing with everything on the Super Nintendo and PlayStation era. It was all fun to play, you know, but the gameplay was there. The gameplay was fun. Like Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
it just had
X.
that.
Final Fantasy X, the story really wasn't that great, but it was really fun to play.
In a really weird. It's like that's when things really started getting
Yeah.
weird. Like I thought they started getting weird, a little weird at 8, and even 7 kind of pushed some boundaries.
Well, you
but
know what?
man,
I went back. I'm watching like a HC Bailey's Let's Play of Final Fantasy VIII. I'm like, you know what? This game is not as bad as I remember it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it's
I
bec-
do need to go back and play.
I
some
think
of
it's
those old
because I'm
ones.
comparing it to like games nowadays. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you. I know you've always been notorious for bashing 8, you jerk.
Yeah.
No, but you know, I didn't really get to watch that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
Sounds
Pretty
pretty
cool.
interesting though. That being said, do you think we should move on to
Yeah.
our list?
Yes.
I just wanted to kind of
All
just touch
No, that's
on the
fine.
Square Enix stuff
Give me the lists.
because
All right,
like,
Eric.
honestly, Square Enix was something I always look forward to at E3, and this I didn't even
Right.
watch it this year.
And,
All right.
I'll get to a point that ties into that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and do our top 5. So how about you lead us off, Eric? I know you're dying.
I am.
So,
Number 1, it's got. Well, I'll start from 5.
Start
How about
5,
that?
man.
yeah,
Okay.
5 countdown.
I was actually pretty impressed with yeah,
The Harry
right.
Potter book.
No, yeah,
Wonder Book.
I was very impressed.
Number
with,
4, Overcopter Deluxe.
That's right. Orville Copter Deluxe. Yeah. No, my number 5 is gonna be God of War Ascension. I was impressed. I do like the hack and slash beat 'em up type games, and you know, obviously the storyline is pretty much finished. So they did a prequel. That's cool. So we get to find out what happened that made Kratos so angry to begin with.
Yeah, there you go.
And we were really talking about just you know, classic gameplay of God of War if you're into those type of games. A lot of new graphic elements added that make the game look very beautiful, and talked about the HUD being minimalistic or not even present at all, coupled with the what do you call them? The real time action events, or the button mashing
Yeah.
events, basically.
I hate
Yeah.
those things.
But it's part of the God of War series, and it kind of introduced those to gamers. So that's my number 5.
No.
They were in Resident Evil 4.
They were in Shenmue.
They were in a lot of games. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, but I
So-
think I think Dreamcast is where we first started seeing that stuff.
Mhm.
All right, so not taking 50 minutes to do all these.
Yeah, we're running that short on time. Let's get through these.
Number 4 is gonna be wow, I think I'm gonna surprise some people here. The Sony All Stars game.
Ooh.
You mean Smash Brothers?
Yeah. No, I really like the
Smash
game.
Brothers, no life bar.
Yeah, I
The
really.
Battle Royale game. Okay.
Yeah, the Sony Battle Royale. I really do like that type of gameplay, and we'll see what happens with that. But I don't think people will. You know what? I'm gonna throw that out. Far Cry 3. I forgot all about Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3. I'll throw that in there instead. So if you haven't seen the trailer for Far Cry 3, check it out. Comes out next year. Number 3 is gonna be Halo 4. Halo 4, the video for that game. I think Nathan and I had discussed. It looks very refreshing, but as far as adding new graphical material and storyline,
I think
material,
there's some more strategy thing, like
Yeah.
some of the drones you're fighting. Like you're gonna have to change the way you play.
Yep. And then at the same time, it's familiar because
Yeah.
it is that Halo flair.
It doesn't. From what I
Feel.
can tell from the gameplay, it looks like it plays like a Halo, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing because you're playing a Halo. It's not going to be like a generic first-person shooter. But the thing is we've all played Halo, and it's going to fall into that.
It seems different enough. They've
Yeah.
changed a lot of stuff. But
I think the only thing I was disappointed by was the appearance of the Marines and the Covenant again. I think they should have just had Halo Chief alone in the wild, running into the Forerunners and just exploring that whole
Yeah,
thing.
but I think
just
like
that staying alone.
to tell you the truth, it might be hard to write a story like a narrative based on.
Maybe.
I mean,
We'll see where they take it because
Yeah.
I don't know very much about where they're going. So
I haven't heard about the story either. But I was kind of like the Covenant again. Like really, I thought we're supposed to be buddies with the Covenant.
Well,
Yeah.
it is that what I've read. I subscribed to Game Informer magazine. What I read in there was that the Covenant that you meet in this game is actually a cult that splinters off from the original Covenant, and they're actually still hostile towards the Chief and
Gotcha.
humans.
all right.
So that's how they get that in there, and that makes sense, I guess, because they are a religious unity. So that's the only thing that brings them together, because they are, like 6 different races, the Covenant.
Yeah.
And
right.
number 2 is going to be Watch Dogs. This game was actually, it kind of came out of left field for me because I hadn't heard anything about it. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, probably the only true surprise of the show was this particular game.
Yep, and I think this is going to be one of the instances where, is this? Do you guys know? Is it a Rockstar game?
No, it's Ubisoft actually.
Okay, so they.
I don't know the team under Ubisoft that's making it. I'm
so
not
it's-
familiar with that.
So are you going to
Ubi
assume that it's based off of the Assassin's Creed engine?
I couldn't tell you.
That's kind of what it looks like. I couldn't tell if it was Grand Theft Auto 4 engine or if it was, going to be the Assassin's Creed engine. But either way, it kind of looks like it plays like an Assassin's Creed game, and it just introduces that whole. I kind of will tote it as a Assassin's Creed meets Deus Ex.
Pretty apt description.
Yeah.
Very cool, very high production values. I was surprised, just the first scene where they have the guys animated and they're talking, like the voice acting was top notch, and just like everything about it was really heavily just really, really, really polished for what I was seeing. And then the concept was great, and I feel like the tools you're gonna have at your disposal to play around with are going to be really, really cool.
And then it's been a while since we've had a decent sandbox game, so.
Yeah. So,
And
number one?
number one is going to be Last of Us.
Yeah.
Big
I mean,
surprise there.
That demo
Yeah.
was amazing. How they ended it, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we can't stress this enough. This game is not going to be for those who get queasy.
Good.
It's going to be a brutal game. But like Rob and I were talking about during the break, we had talked about this game. I think is the only game that can actually say that the violence is situationally appropriate. I don't think it breaks the limit of what can be acceptable because it is all about, surviving in this post-apocalyptic place. And
Yeah, it's not like gore porn. We're not looking at like a bullet storm. We're looking at like, a really gritty, very realistic, like grounded, like almost like a survival horror, really. I mean, think about it.
It's probably one step away from being an actual like zombie game. And the cool thing is they use an actual natural phenomenon, and I don't know if you guys know like the whole backstory, but basically the head writer for the game came up with the game. He was watching National Geographic Channel, and he was watching Planet Earth, I think. Is that the one that's narrated by Morgan Freeman?
That's
Or that's the Cosmos one.
Yeah, that's through the wormhole.
Alec Baldwin.
through the wormhole. That's
Okay.
Morgan Freeman. Through the wormhole.
It is.
Well, anyway, it was one of those National Geographics where they have the movie star that narrates it, and he saw this segment about this fungus in Africa that actually it grows inside of ants. And
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
and it,
I remember this. I remember reading an article about how that was kind of the inspiration for it.
Yeah, so like the fungus takes over the ants, and then they basically go to this high place where birds will eat them, and then they spread the fungus spores.
Yeah, and it like drops to the ground on other
Yeah,
ants.
basically it turns the ant into like a zombie, which is really crazy. Like
So
a real
then,
life zombie.
so the concept is that this fungus has somehow been able to infest humans, and pretty much like I think they said in like the story is in like 2 weeks, 4.5 billion people died in 2 weeks or something like that.
Still
So,
2 billion people left.
well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
gotta get busy, repopulating the planet.
So
That's what
you're
I'm
basically a Han Solo, if you will, of this world. You're like a smuggler. You go outside of the protected zones and get gear for people and commodities and stuff like that. But
You
being as-
scavenger or someone.
but being as such, you can't actually enter these protected zones because you've been out into the protected world. So definitely the things that attracted me to this game were the minimal HUD. You have a small life bar and weapon indicator in the top left hand of the screen. The character movements are probably the closest to lifelike I've ever seen in a
It
video
was
game.
very, from what I've seen, like a lot of that was very fluid and very impressive. That's what blew me away. Is I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this.
Well, and if you ever played Uncharted, it's a Naughty Dog game. I mean, they all use mocap, and they've gotten it down to like a science. And I mean, it's just amazing what they can do with it.
Yep, and then it is a third-person adventure game, kind of like Uncharted, but at the same time, I think this game, just like Uncharted, is going to have the exploration, but I think it's also going to be probably more like Uncharted 2, where there was a lot more combat. So
I liked how when you went in the menu, it seemed like when he grabbed his backpack, it was live. There was no pause. So it still kind of gives that, you have to be aware of your situation whenever you're making a weapon. Like he made that Molotov cocktail.
Oh,
At those guys, but it seemed like the game didn't pause. like you're still in danger, and that's kind of cool. Like
Also, like, people were noticing, like, that they were anything that the characters are carrying with them is all animated on the character in a realistic way. Like, you don't have that 50 item slot bag.
Yeah, hammer space.
Yeah, it's like no, it's supposed to be totally like realistic, like basically what you can carry.
Well, I mean,
know?
they'll add to the whole survival aspect of it, you know.
Yeah,
As
and
long as they
that's what they're
limit,
shooting for.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to limit you on what you can have.
All right, so let's go on and let's if we've already included a game in one of our top fives, we won't spend any more time on it.
Yeah, we'll just go
All right,
ahead
well,
and say
why
like
don't we each just do one more, like one that maybe wasn't mentioned in that list? So how about you, Jesse? What was anything catch your eye?
I really liked the Beyond Two Souls game. Like I don't play like that much games, but as far as like the closest thing to looking like reality, like when it first pans onto that cop, I was like, whoa, that looks real.
yeah, that was
Like,
pretty
close.
impressive.
Also, I get the feeling this guy likes himself some Ellen Page.
I really couldn't stand Juno. I
Who
don't know
doesn't?
how Cody won an Oscar, but I won't get into that.
If you get a chance, watch Have you ever seen the Rainn Wilson movie with Ellen Page? It's called is it called Super? I think it's called Super. It's messed up movie, and you should
Art
totally watch
Candy's
it.
pretty good too.
Which one?
I think it's called
Okay.
Super.
Yeah,
Okay,
super.
anyway.
But Troy mentioned Hard Candy, and
Art Candy.
I don't like that movie, and it's
intense.
It's intense, but my problem is just the way Ellen Page's character is written is just totally unbelievable. I'm just like, okay, like I don't know, it just bugged me. I'm like, it's like, you know, giving kids superpowers. I'm like,
it's like
it kind of just removed me from the movie, you know. Yeah, it just her character removed me from the movie. I'm like, okay, no 15-year-old thinks like this, or you know, it just
really fucked up.
I mean, I guess they needed to write her that way for it to be as intense as it was, but I was just like, it was just, I couldn't believe that character would exist.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So Nathan, do you have a game?
Well, I'll
or
go
a
ahead and
couple
run
games?
through. I'll go ahead and run through my list, and you know, if it's a game that's already been mentioned, I'm just gonna say a few things about it. But, and I don't remember if you mentioned Assassin's Creed 3.
No, not
Okay,
yet.
that's my number 5, and really, I mean, I've played Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. I never finished 1 because of the repetitive problem.
We know.
Yeah, but 2 was really good. And then 3 looks just amazing. Like, you know, with all those new features that, you know, the multiplayer looks really, really sweet. Okay, and then the next one, at first spot 4, I was going to put Star Wars, but then I forgot about Beyond. And not because I like Ellen Page. I actually do not. I dislike her. You know,
come on, man.
Okay. I liked her in Inception because she didn't. To me, she didn't feel like she was playing the same damn role like she. Plays
Oh, I
in
know.
the
And
freaking
that
movie.
she wasn't playing the psycho
She's like
crazy
she's
bitch
like
role.
she's like the female Michael Cera. You know, they're always playing the same damn role. But so that looked really interesting. I don't know a lot about it yet, so I can't put it higher on my list because I don't know what to expect. Watch Dogs is number 3. It looks exciting, but it also looks so much like Grand Theft Auto 4 as far as like the setting. I'm like,
I'm really hoping they focus heavily on the gadgetry and like the espionage, and not so much on open world.
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's my
riffing.
problem with Grand Theft Auto 4. I said 4, right? Grand Theft Auto 4 I thought was just too open world, and I just got kind of like bored with it after a while.
You get distracted.
Yeah.
There's so much other stuff going on.
Yeah,
the story is the best part. You know?
Okay, so I put that as number 3. Number 2 is going to be Halo 4, and we mentioned what we liked about it. I like that it's fresh. It's done by a new company, so I think that they're going to take it. They're going to be able to do more than what Bungie did with it, because Bungie just kind of started recycling Halo after a while.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a good move on their part. And then number 1's Last of Us for the same reasons Eric mentioned. You know, I just feel that it's a very cinematic without just kind of putting you through cutscene. I think a lot of the interaction is going to take care of the cutscenes. Like, you're going to be able to feel more a part of these cutscenes from what I've seen. Like you're actually there.
Okay. Well, I think I'll just bullet point a few games I also liked. I'd like to put myself in that list, but some games are of note that weren't mentioned where I really liked what I saw of Tomb Raider. I know they're kind of pulling some pages from Uncharted, but that's not a bad thing in my book. I think that's looking really awesome. I really liked. I'm a Vita owner, so I have to at least plug Soul Sacrifice, which they have a trailer that you can find now, but it's a 4-player co-op game for Vita, and it's exactly what it needs, and it looks awesome.
They need more Vita games. There's nothing.
Yeah, there's actually 30 Vita games on the floor that they totally glossed over in the conference for reasons unknown.
There's nothing.
Wonderbook. Wonderbook.
We need to spend so much time.
What else? Resident Evil 6. I know people have been kind of dogging on Resident Evil since 4, but I loved 5, and I have a feeling I'm going to love 6. I just have that feeling. Let's see, what else?
Return of Leon.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be a return of like similar gameplay.
Yeah.
About Amazing Spider-Man. I think I saw a trailer for that.
Oh yeah, they got that game. I haven't seen anything on it, but I mean, there looks like they're going back to open world with that, which I think was successful before. So we'll see what they do.
Based off the new movie though, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll. I hear the gameplay is going to be good. I've read that it seems good, but it is based off the new movie. I don't want to say it's a sequel to what happens in the movie because I don't remember really, but I know it's based in that universe. But they don't have any of the same voice actors. It's all different.
The other thing they do with that is they take away, like, you know how most movie property games are just like, hey, let's go through the plot of the movie. They take that away in the Amazing Spider-Man game. They don't reveal any of the plot. They have a whole new series of events for
which is the way to go. I mean, you saw what they did with Batman and how well that worked for Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. So that's just the way to go. I think you can't be sitting there aping, these movies anymore because you're
watching cutscenes from the movie.
Yeah, it's just silly.
Once again, like I had to with Harry Potter.
But yeah, and of course I like all the games you guys already mentioned. Clearly, Watch Dogs, Last of Us, and what was the other one? Oh, Beyond were some of the biggest games of the show. What about you, Troy? What do you got in the back of your head? What's your favorites?
Pretty much what everyone already said. The top of my list, I don't know. My top 2 are kind of different. Last of Us obviously is number 1. I'm really excited for Halo 4. I really like how it looks. They mentioned that the weapons are Forerunner, and I really like that. I like how when he picked up that sniper rifle,
that was really sweet.
It warped around and turned into it. And when he picked up the scatter gun, I don't know if it was a different gun, but it looked like the gun just warped into a different version of it. So I'm really excited for that. That looks really cool. And I like how it seems like the story, like right in the beginning, you have like this huge robotic entity. It just shoots off towards the ship. And
the big orb thing.
Yeah, that's really cool. It scans the horizon. Then
what did that remind me of?
Reminded
me of something.
Reminded me of the movie Sphere or the Void Sphere from Doctor Who.
Or I feel like it reminded me of Flight of the Navigator for some reason.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, the way it shot off real quick.
Yeah,
the way it just hovers there.
Brought back memories.
Yeah.
That's good though.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Halo 4 is supposed to be all about uncovering the mystery, more mystery.
Yeah, because they never really in the actual game franchise, they never really explain where all of these rings came from. They just kind of here's the rings.
It's Forerunner.
They've been here for hundreds of thousands of years.
Well, you do find out, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And everyone should already know this, that humans are Forerunner.
Yeah.
And
I think there's a spin-off, the what's left of Forerunners.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think that humans
were. There's a quote from the lead developer of the multiplayer side of Halo 4. They are going to do something different. It's going to be called the Spartan something about ship. There's a
it's called Infinity.
Infinity, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Infinity.
So,
I don't know if it's Infinity mode, but
yeah,
that's if they're they're gonna release a new, I want to say co-op,
Episode thing.
episode every week.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool. It keeps you coming back, and
On
I
top
think
of-
that ties into your multiplayer character as well.
Yeah. On top of the classic Halo multiplayer, which is going to also be changed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, the like I was saying, the lead for the multiplayer said though that the co-op episodes have the ability to go on for years. So we're talking staying power.
I don't want Halo to become into Lost. You know?
Just ends all of a sudden.
Oh, look, a hatch. Oh, look, a button. Oh, look, some other stuff. Polar bears. Dinosaurs. Smoke monster.
Smoke
monster. Dude, we totally glossed over a big one. Did anyone see the South Park game? Because that looks amazing. How do we skip that?
Amazing.
That was freaking incredible. Never mind, that's my number one. That trailer was the greatest. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
I'm excited for that game.
Dude, I'm so pumped. It looks fantastic. Can't wait to be the new kid.
Has anyone played the XBLL game that came out? The
Tenderman's Revenge?
Yeah, I played a demo of that. It was pretty fun. It was like you were playing a South Park episode. That's as far as I got, but it seemed really cool, and maybe I'll get it someday and talk about that. But
All right, so I guess that's it for E3.
Yeah. I might have to wrap it up here early, but you guys can continue
No,
on and
I think
go
we're,
into...
it's midnight. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I was
here,
gonna
too.
say I can't do anymore. I gotta go get my foreskin back. I got an appointment tomorrow. I gotta
Get
go
that
get
bionic. bionic.
Fantastic.
I'm getting an upgrade. I'm upgrading. Upgrade
me
your life,
upgrade
son.
you.
Upgrade your life. Get your foreskin back. Reclaim it.
Oh man.
There's a Halo joke in there somewhere. Reclaimer.
I reclaim my foreskin. It was stolen from me. I have been betrayed.
Betrayal.
God damn it.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for Tea Time After Dark podcast, episode 3. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. I see people were in and out of the chat room, so that was nice. Nobody actually left a comment or anything, but
Whatever.
yeah, whatever. You know,
It's baby steps, man. It's
Baby
gonna be a
steps.
slow crawl to the top.
It's like everybody's off watching E3 coverage. It's like, who are these yahoos? You know,
You know, you started talking about snacks, and everyone got reminded how hungry they were, and they never
Yeah.
came back.
Man, snack sounds good.
Oh, snack!
So,
That's what you did, right?
check us out on YouTube. We have our username is Tea Time After Dark Podcast, I believe. Can you confirm, Jesse?
Oh, it's just a tea time after dark.
Okay, so it's just Tea Time After Dark. Okay, so check us out there, and I think that's the same as our Twitter as well. I haven't really been
that's,
tweeting, but
Now the Twitter thing is different. I never use Twitter, so I'll probably never go on there. But that's T, just a capital T.
all right.
Capital T!
Then I will try to use the Twitter so that we can at least get stuff up there. And yeah. So does everybody want to say their goodbyes? Look at Eric's face. He likes making like I don't know why he likes making faces at the camera. That's his goodbye face.
That's
So-
a pretty crazy goodbye face.
Anybody have anything else they want to mention before we call it a night?
Yeah.
Pants.
What? You're not wearing underpants?
I'm not wearing underwear. I am currently building my own Orville copter.
Making room for my new foreskin.
I just need
Yeah,
to say
making
to
room for my new foreskin.
just need to say to Troy that I do not need to use Google Effects to have a nice mustache.
Oh, yeah, mine curls quite nicely.
I gotta shave it off for work, so
It's lame.
that's my.
And then Rob's got this eye patch. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. For,
Gear.
on behalf of Tea Time After Dark, I guess that's it. I'm Krychux or Nathan, whatever you want. I'm gonna wave.
Justifiable. gorgeous.
Justifiable. We're the and
I'm
then
Avatar. Eric.
Avatar, and then
I'm Dr. Rob.
it's like R. And then Troy. That's Troy and his dog.
Yeah, you can
So-
see him.
Yeah, he was in the shot for a little bit. So we're signing off, and we shall see you later. Thanks for tuning in. See you next
Have a good
Wednesday.
night.
Same
See ya.
time, same bat channel.
Mm-hmm.